Yeah, it was awesome. Actually, it's we were back and forth. We were pretty aggressive, but on this track, it's you could be pretty aggressive towards other riders, and he ended up going down. I don't think I did anything to make him go down, but it's short track racing, man. It's tough. These guys got out, and I was kind of stuck behind all those guys and worked my way up, and you know. Just kind of got into third and stayed there. But all in all, it was good. We made improvements, and that's what I wanted to do today.
You look like you had a relatively clean race. Is that did it seem that way from your perspective?
Yeah, I did actually. It was fun. Like I said, Raj and I had a pretty good battle, and watching Brad climb that wall, kind of took my focus off off my deal. I was like, holy cow, he's going over. But other than that, it was pretty good. Track kind of slick for me. It's kind of dry, but we kind of slowed her down to go a little faster, so it worked out good.
Congratulations for a great race.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk with second place Brad Baker. And Brad, man, what a moment out there. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody climb a wall so high and not go over. Tell us about that moment.
Yeah, that's definitely the definition of a wall ride on a flat track bike. It wasn't intentional by any means, but track just got so tactical at the end. It even changed us from our final to the super final, and it was one of those tracks where you kind of had to go slow to go fast, not make very many mistakes. And it was a pretty clean race. It was probably one of the cleanest races, other than that little moment there where wasn't worrying about that first lap going bad. So it was just fun riding with Jared. He got the best of me there at the end, and he was just not making any mistakes and riding calm. And I was trying to be a little too aggressive and have fun with the wall again. So, but it was just cool to make a comeback. We had so many problems today, from getting hung up in the gate to the bike stalling in the first corner, and then came back and won a heat race miraculously, and then I had a bike break and had to swap everything over, and just kind of came out hoping that thing would work, and it ended up working pretty good, and we came back and we're here a second in the super final and won our category. So I can't be too much happier. After yesterday we had a rough night, and I'm still hurting from that, but it was just a lot of fun, and the Superprestigios are becoming a really fun deal for everybody, and there's a lot of cool riders that get to come out and do it, so it's awesome.
Great. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
Now let's talk with Jared Mees, our winner of the inaugural Superprestigio of the Americas. And Jared, I guess this weekend has got to be one of your red letter weekends that you're going to remember for a while, huh?
Man, I just was thinking that, what a way to top off the end of the year, third place in the race, the championship, and then the Super Prestigio. Lost for words, really. It was picture perfect weekend almost for me. I like another outlaw race, no Super Prestigio. I can win these little singles races, but when it comes to the Old National, I still can't get that singles win, and but it was fun battling with Josh Hayes and Larry and them guys, and the guys that I looked up to that do something that I can't even come close to doing, and battling out with them and hyping it all up and bragging. It was pretty cool, and battling with these guys week in and week out. I mean, I knew that these guys were going to be pretty tough, and especially Brad here on the race before that, he got the best of me there. We battled it up. I knew I had some speed, so I knew if I just hit some clean marks and some clean laps, I might be able to get a little bit away. And he kind of handed a little bit to me easy with the wall going there, but heck, that messed my focus up. So it was a lot of fun. I look forward to coming back next year and doing the same thing. And in a couple weeks, we're going to go over to the Barcelona, Spain, and Brad and I, and hopefully do the same thing. So yeah, it's good.
How about the ring? Did you check that out? Does it look pretty good there?
It's a lot more detailed than I thought. Tommy Doom always does a pretty bang up job for sure, man. He's top quality for sure. And not much of a jewelry guy, so probably more stay in a nice safe place. But it's an honor to get the first one at the Super Prestigio Americas, and hats off to the whole France and Steve McLaughlin SMI. It was awesome to have them put this together. I'm sure they learned a lot, and I think it'll just get bigger and bigger here on out. I know that a couple things conflicted with the dates, but hopefully next year we can make it bigger and better.
Sounds good. Questions?
Question for any of you, besides your experience in Spain, Had any of you done a gate start before? What do you think of that? And how did that affect your night? You start with you, Jared.
I like the gate starts. I think it's cool because it goes fast. It's quick pace. Everybody's kind of on an even playing field, really. There's no jumping the start, really. I mean, the gate tonight was, maybe a little on the rustic side. Usually when you jump the start, you stop. You don't blow through it. So you jump the start, there's no stopping it or nothing. I think it's kind of cool. I get really, really good starts on our normal way of doing it, so it's not like I'd want to go that way because it might take my advantage away, but I like it. I think it's cool, it's neat, it's different, so it's just different for everybody, so I like it.
How about you, other guys?
It was gate starts. We did it at the X Games. Done it a couple times in Barcelona. We've all, grown up doing some motocross and whatnot, and we practiced a lot up until Barcelona and the X Games. So it's not our first trial run at a gate start, but I like it. I think it makes the show quicker. And nobody's going to jump the start and have to do a red flag. You can get pre-gridded before the race, so it makes everything go a little bit cleaner that way. And especially on the Superprestigio, us not being all the way used to it, it kind of gives the the other riders that come in that don't do dirt track every weekend just kind of have at least a start that it's going to be a little bit more of a fair game. So it's really cool, and I actually got hung up in a gate for the first time in a long time. I think I only jumped it once the first time when I was on 85 back in like 2001 or something. So I was talking about it all before that race, and I ended up jinxing myself and doing it. So that sucked, but overall it's pretty cool.
Matthew?
Did you guys have any expectations for what you might see performance-wise from the All-Star riders?
I knew they ride a lot of flat track, so the Haydens, they grew up racing, and Raj proved himself. He can run with us tonight, so I think it's pretty cool that those guys, they take our form of racing and they train for theirs. It's pretty neat.
I was, obviously I was impressed by some of the guys' performance. Some of them are pretty good friends of mine. Aaron Colton is a guy that tries, even though he's not a road racer, even his competition isn't even source of racing, but he just tries to be as best of well-rounded motorcycle rider as he can. And it's cool that a lot of these guys, from road racing to hill climb to motocross, that flat track's the one sport that pretty much everybody that races a motorcycle will cross-train with. You can't say that about pretty much any other sport other than maybe motocross, but it seems like everybody kind of tends to be on the flat track side because corners are always pretty viable in any source of motorcycle racing. So it was cool to see Pegram come out. My engine builder was actually built engines for Larry way back in the day, so for him and I to line up next to each other on the super final was really cool. And Roger Hayden, obviously he showed that he hasn't forgot how to ride a dirt track bike either, so it was awesome, and it was just a pleasure to ride with all of them.
I think I think a little bit too, with us having the national the night before, gave us a little bit more of an advantage probably because we knew what the track was going to do every time we got on it. We were just more consistent with it, where them guys rode on Thursday a few laps and then were off yesterday, where we came in like fresh. So I'm not sure what they're going to do next year as far as the national Superprestigio, but I think if the Superprestigio is a standalone deal and we all come out, I think, I'm not saying we had a big advantage by no means, but I think it just kind of catches us off a little bit more off guard, because like last night, every time we got on the racetrack, it seemed like it was different every time, either rough, dry, deep, wet. So, I expected, Larry and Roger to definitely be, the top guys to beat. I mean, they're Grand National flat track guys, and, Larry's won a couple Grand Nationals, and, Roger's podiumed at some, and then, Hayes, he's a good motorcycle rider in general. So, I'm not familiar with a whole lot of the other guys. I raced, Blake Young, he raced dirt track growing up as the amateur stuff. So, they're all really good motorcycle racers, and we're in here on this little bull ring short track, and anything can happen. I mean, so it's that's what makes it fun. If you put us on a big half mile, it would definitely separate. But hey, these guys get out there and they ride these little short tracks to train and have fun on. So it was good.
one other question, did the Metis tires present any setup challenges for you guys?
No.
I wouldn't say
We're the
so. You
same.
know, the Mia's tires. You know, every dirt track tire on a track like this is going to work pretty decent. But you know, I've been a test rider and helped develop the Mia's tire for a long time, and it's actually a tire. If we had our choice of any tire to ride the night, pretty much everybody probably would have chose that tire over a lot of other ones. But for the most part, it's nothing with setup or anything else. It's just a little bit different on tire pressure, and some guys are not as familiar with them, so they're kind of second guessing themselves if they have never ran one before. So that factor probably played into a lot on people just wondering if they're doing the right thing far as tire pressure goes. But for the most part, it never affected the way we ride the motorcycle at all.
Jared, I don't think I've ever seen you guys after races sort of bench racing and, you know, all laughing and everything. Is this kind of racing just generally one of the funnest types of racing you guys do?
Yeah, well, you know, anytime you throw something different into what we're normally, you know, anytime you throw something different at something, it's different, it's fun, it's what's the word I'm looking for? Like, you know, it's real appealing. You're more focused, like so. You know, it was hectic. You know, and I remember when we were in Spain last year, it was a little bit even more hectic. But you know, a lot of guys are like, "Man, this is hectic." I'm like, "Yeah, but you should have seen Spain last year." But it was cool. It's fast paced. You know, you don't have much time. We were literally like pulling off from one heat race and just sitting there in the back. You know, didn't even have time to go to the pit area. It was a waste of time. We were laughing, and you know, the track. The way the track was configured tonight, well, all weekend, but the way the track was dug up and stuff, it made for it to be like racy and like you could stick somebody hard and set somebody up, and I mean, there shouldn't be no hard feelings just because of the, you know, circumstances of the track. But it was like, all right, you're gonna pass me that way, I'm gonna turn around and pass you the same way, and it just carry each other higher, and felt like I was riding 100s with my buddies in my backyard, man, because it was just like we were banging and battling and bouncing off each other. When we bounced off each other, one person would go right and the other one would go left. So I don't think they could have came up with a better design of a racetrack for more chaos, and I think that's what they were after. So hats off to, you know, the Chris or whoever designed it, because they got what they wanted, I think, and they got some chaos because it was a racy little short track. I mean, Daytona short track's not even this racy, you know. So that was fun.
I totally agree.
Oh, sorry. On behalf of the Team SMI, I want to thank you guys for a great event, and thanks for coming out, and it was a thrill to watch.
Right on. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.